Hi, welcome to the 2013 USA Pro Challenge. I'm Joe Lindsay for Bicycling Magazine, joined by Frankie Andreu for Race Radio. We're sitting out here in downtown Aspen in front of the Hotel Jerome with the Sidewalk Judge, and he's going to help us go over the race today. Frankie, today's stage was the opening stage of the circuit race around Aspen, 23 circuits of a 20-some mile course. It was short, it was hard, and it was really, really fast.
Really fast, especially at the beginning, and everybody was worried about how that first kind of 2 times over the climb was going to play out, and there was a big group of 7 that went away, and the peloton didn't like that. That was just too large of a group to be able to control, so they chased that down, and then eventually we saw Cook from Jamis, Burnett from Jelly Belly, and Craig Lewis from Champion Systems managed to pull out, what, maximum 2 minutes maybe?
Yeah, man, they had maybe no more than 2 minutes at any point in the race. So, I mean, it was definitely, the pack was keeping them very close, definitely wanted to get them back. And then, when they made the catch on the third lap, the interesting thing there was that counter move that went. The most interesting thing about that was it had Sagan in the counter move. So the number 1 guy who's going to win the sprint finish all of a sudden is out ahead of the field in this group. But then he gets dropped.
No, he's sad. Nobody would work with him. And what happens when you get into a group with the fastest sprinter in the world? Nobody works. Everybody was sitting on. Brent Bookwalter's sitting on. Everybody's sitting on. So Sagan's like, this isn't going to work. I'm just going to go back to the reshuffle the cards. And again, at the finish, he came out of that last corner and just blew everybody away. It was amazing how much faster he was than every other person in that group.
Yeah, his turn of speed coming through the last corner. The last corner here was about 200, 300 meters from the line about, and he didn't necessarily have the best position going through that corner, but his turn of speed was so much that nobody could really get him. But, with about 5K to go, it's looking a little touch and go there because you got George Bennett from Radio Shack, Carter Jones from Bissell, they're up the road. Here comes Sagan drifting back to the pack, and his Cannondale guys weren't around.
They had like 10 seconds and 3K to go, and the team's going to come on the front, and BMC was going, and the speed at the finish is just so fast. They gobble those guys up like that. And the difference is, Sagan said, he spent a lot of time at altitude, and that makes a big difference.
That did make a big difference.
And in the sprint, you saw TJ Van Garderen placed 5th.
Yeah.
Mainly just trying to stay out of trouble and not get those time gaps. And just you mentioned, Joe, there were some time gaps today.
Yeah, there were some time gaps. So basically there's only 17 guys credited with the winner's time, and then there was a gap. There's another group of 23 led by Joe Dombrowski, led across the line about 5 seconds down. So 5 seconds isn't a whole lot to worry about, but basically you're down to 40 guys now are within 5 seconds of the overall. Everybody else mathematically is
and some big names are off the back. Froome, Richie Porte, Talansky,
all those guys.
The sidewalk judge penalized them.
Yeah, absolutely. Penalized them 5 minutes, as a matter of fact. So,
and that's a lot of time to be off the back.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got some big names who are definitely out of it, but most of the bigger names, they're still in contention. But even 5 seconds on a course like this, it's hard. Last year, the top 3 were separated by 21 seconds overall at the finish in Denver. So you can say 5 seconds isn't much, but I don't think these guys are necessarily super happy about letting those gaps open up.
No, you don't want to let gaps open up. But tomorrow we start off going over Independence Pass. Sagan has every single jersey except for the aggressive jersey and the KOM jersey, which Matt Cook has. Right. Matt Cook actually has a chance to be able to win the KOM jersey. Good climber, possibly has a chance to be able to stay there. But Independence Pass, if a break goes and they ride tempo, I think Sagan can get over that and have another chance for a win.
Yeah,
but we talked about Garmin being very explosive and aggressive. Well, now's the time. Talansky, Miller, these are the guys that are going to go up the road and try to shake things up, and that's what they're going to have to do.
Yeah, and that's that's what they did here last year, and it's obviously worked out great for them. So tomorrow is going to be the day that we're going to start to see that tactic, whatever that tactic is. However, they're going to be aggressive. We're going to start to see that play out. But tomorrow's stage 2 is very hard. It's the longest in the race. It's 126 miles, and while the biggest climb, Independence Pass, comes right out of the gate, and that will give some guys some problems because they're going to be dropped kind of early.
And it's going to give everybody problems.
A lot of guys.
Thing's a massive climb, going up to like 12,000 feet.
Yeah, and they get no warm-up. It starts straight out of Aspen that they go up this thing. But the problem is that when you get to Breckenridge, it's a downhill finish off of Hoosier Pass into Breckenridge, but they don't actually go through the finish. They go around it, and then they go up this short, steep climb up Boreas Pass, and from Boreas Pass, it's 4 kilometers straight downhill all the way to the finish, and that is going to be really interesting to see what kind of gaps open up there and who's in the mix and who's not.
Well put. You had time gaps today. You're going to go down a 4K descent flying into Breckenridge. You're definitely going to see time gaps today. So if anybody, they should have learned their lesson from today. They should pay more attention and be up there for tomorrow. And the sidewalk judge then will not pass out any penalties.
Absolutely. So anyway, that's Race Radio. I'm Frankie Andreu. I'm Joe Lindsay. Thanks for joining us.
Keep studying. You got a lot to learn, buddy.